Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of D-Plug Plus. Today, I will be reviewing Super Mario 64, the first game I ever beat. So, let's get on to it. Super Mario 64's story is Bowser captures Princess Peach. Go save her! Super Mario 64 is a game with very open levels where you run around trying to collect stars. To get in said levels, just jump in a painting. When you get in your painting, you will have some tasks you'll have to accomplish, like racing a Koopa up a mountain, or waiting on a stupid carpet for way too long. There are a bunch of levels you can go to. Every single level has 6 normal stars and also a 100 coin star. And the 100 coin stars aren't good at all. There are only 2 stages in the game, Whomp's Fortress and Big Boo's Haunt, where I can honestly say that the 100 coin missions are not that tedious. The other 13 are so time-consuming and tedious as you slowly wander around the level, collecting like 1 coin at a time, and it just takes forever, and it's very bad pacing issues. If you don't include the 100 coin missions, I think the levels themselves are pretty fun. Bob-omb Battlefield and Whomp's Fortress are pretty good early game levels to get used to the controls and everything. Big Boo's Haunt and Cool Cool Mountain aren't too hard, but are still very fun to play. Lethal Lava Land, Tall Tall Mountain are also great stages, along with Snowman's Land, which is a fun snow level. And I even like Tick Tock Clock. Unpopular opinion, because I know a lot of people hate that level, but I think it's just a fun platforming level. My favorite level, though, is Tiny Huge Island, which has this super cool gimmick where you will go in a pipe and you'll either be very big compared to the rest of the level or very small, which is just really cool as you go in a pipe and all of a sudden the Goombas are 10 times your size. It's awesome. But not all the stages are very fun to play. Shifting Sandland is fine. It's kind of annoying though with all the insta-kill sand. And there's also Jolly Roger Bay and Dire Dire Docks, which are boring underwater levels that I really do not like, as you slowly swim around and they're not very fun. Not a huge fan of Hazy Maze Cave either. It's just a giant maze. I know where I'm going, but it still is just really bland. Nothing very interesting in it. But easily the worst level in the game is Rainbow Ride. God, do I hate this stage. Remember earlier when I mentioned about waiting on a carpet? That comes from this level. 4 out of the 7 stars, including the 100 coin mission, which in my opinion this stage has the worst of those boring missions, you have to wait on a carpet. Just such a tedious level. It's not even funny. The levels in Super Mario 64 are not the only things though that have stars. The hub world has 15 of its own, which can consist of catching a rabbit, talking to a toad, or going in an aquarium. I think for the most part they're fine. And while we're on the topic of things that I think are just fine, contrary to popular opinion, I don't think this game's soundtrack is great. I think it's just fine. There are some great tracks in the game. I like Koopa's Road, the final level theme. I think that the credits theme is super catchy, but not much else. Dire Dire Docks can be calming. Bob-omb Battlefield and the Slider theme are okay. But a lot of it is also kind of just ambient music that's just boring. Like Lethal Lava Land's theme. Although I will say this. Super Mario 64's controls are super good. They aren't the best Mario controls ever. I still think that Super Mario World and Super Mario Odyssey would beat it out in the control category, but it still is really good controls. The amount of moves you can pull off is just insane, including this for some reason. Why does this exist? I don't know, but it does. Just like the 2D Mario games, this game has a selection of power-ups, although they function very differently than they did then. You remember in the 2D games a certain power-up called the Star and how it was on a time limit? In this game, every power-up is on a time limit, only 3 of them. First, there's a metal cap, which basically makes you invincible like the Star in the classic games. There's the invisible cap, which makes you invisible and able to go through certain walls. And last, and certainly least, is the wing cap, which lets you fly. Remember how I said the controls are good? That's in every instance except for this one. The wing cap controls terribly. It does not control good at all. The reason I said these power-ups function differently than they did in the older Mario games is because, see, in the older Mario games, they were more of like an extension to Mario's capabilities. Like, you can shoot fire. Here, they're more or less, use this so you can get a single star. I'm fine either way, but I don't really care for the power-ups in this game. They're just okay. One of my biggest issues with Mario 64 has to be the camera. It's really bad. This game's camera might just be the worst camera in the entire Super Mario series. It just kinda will move when it wants to, like in Tiny Huge Island on this bridge, where it's guaranteed you will fall off this bridge at some point in time. The camera in this game, not very good. Well, I think it's time to start wrapping this video up. Look, Mario 64 is not perfect, but I still think this game is great. I think it controls well, and I think the level design for the most part is good. I think a lot of the stars are fun, minus the 100 coin missions. It's a really good game, and it's a game that is very important to me. It's basically the game that made me love video games. So yes, I do recommend Mario 64 on the N64, the Wii U Virtual Console, the new 3D All-Stars. It's a really good game that I can recommend. I give Mario 64 a 95 out of 100.